very good afternoon to everybody who is going to join in and to our fantastic subscribers. I'm Regina. I'm going live as usual, Monday to Friday. I'm here to just share more about my crypto analysis, what I look at certain charts, and give my honest opinion. And please do understand that this is not financial advice. This is purely for educational purpose. I look at charts, I analyze them based on certain things that I've learned over the years. I've been a trader for about 5 years, 2 years in the futures, so I'm just trying to grasp how things move, especially things like with leverage. It gets kind of, if not handled properly, things go haywire. So during this live stream, we will see how to manage capital. We will see how risk management looks like, what are the criteria that I take for trades, all of that deduced. As well, a little thing that not many people know is that I've been in the crypto space for about 8 years, longer than I have been trading. So I understand the sentiment. I am more of a patron of the use case of the technology than just speculation on assets. That being said, be it the basics of setting up an account, setting up a wallet, all of it, I've done it over at least 10,000 times to know how it really works. So if you have any questions, do let me know. And in the meantime, what I will do is, right now if you see my screen, I have opened up a chart, a BDC chart. To do a little quick recap, yesterday we took 2 trades. Since the market was not just volatile, but yeah, we see volatility here. It's moving sideways. Still, it is in consolidation. This is my opinion that I am looking at. Whenever I spot a good trade, I will take it, and you can see that right on my screen. There's no hiding anything around. And if you want to join the channel where I share some of my psychology, not necessarily trade signals, do join it. The QR code's right on the screen, and it'll be wonderful to have this amazing community of traders. Over the years, I have learned so much from people who I interact with, and that has been a blessing in itself, where I try and understand psychology, because synergy, this term synergy is very important, where 1 plus 1 is always 3 for me. Mathematically it is 2, but if people help each other, the output is way better than what one and another person would do. So essentially, synergy, this is a synergistic community of traders that I'm building. Do come on board. We have amazing things that we discuss, share, and learn. And it's not that, oh, I am going to teach you everything. I'm also here to pick up certain things that I like that you share about. Yesterday, so doing a recap, we did a trade. We followed this trend line right up until this resistance here. It showed signs that it's going to go up, but after a few hours, we saw it move downwards. I drew a downward trend line, but it didn't quite stick because there were very few touch points. But now if I just take it all the way down, this would have been amazing. And this was just until 18, that is 6 p.m. that I did this. Sorry, there's just something. Hello, move the mic closer, please. Let me know if this is better. Thank you for joining in. Amazing. Okay, so I will still, what I will do for now is I will still extend this, see what it really is. So right now I have drawn a couple of support and resistance. My support is at 87,700 and the upper bound of resistance is almost near 90k. Now it's fallen right below that, and it's now the support that was supposed to be a support, it's trading below it. So I will just readjust my chart. Yeah, do I have lower supports drawn? Yeah, I do have. I go back. Bitcoin giving no direction. No direction. Why is that? Many people have shared that it is in a range. Consolidation of sorts. How about you? What do you think? Looks like it. First move could be yes. That seemed like, even like yesterday I was trying to see if this was a sweep for liquidity. It was a very long sweep because it ran so quickly above 90, like in a span of few hours. I'd say 7 to another 7 in just about 12 hours. It just ran to 90 and then boom, it couldn't go beyond. You know, with all this news that came out that it could be a potential quantitative easing, so many people were so bullish. Michael Saylor was so bullish during the weekend. What kind of news came out? I was feeling that the overall sentiment was bullish, but it could barely move the price upwards. Yeah, not trading between. Yeah, it's so should I say slow between this range, but this is the most important range right now, so that we would either know that historically, see, I'll say something. Historically, price had cycles, 4-year cycles. Now people anticipate that there will be a super cycle. I would just be back. There are some things that I need. Yeah, so yes, of course, exactly. So when price, okay, so this is my theory, all right? If big economies are manipulating the price through this is quite controversial what I was sending in the chat at the minute. So hopefully there is, and we sit on that long brown ball. But if big economies are coming in with their big piles of cash just to manipulate the price and pushing it upwards, printing more money in the background. Okay, hear me out. We always told that economies are printing money out of thin air. Crypto was very akin to getting money out of thin air. Now the same cash that they are actually printing out of nothing, if they're going to put it into the crypto economy, then they are making value for that cash that actually has no intent, no real use. But they're then putting it into this ecosystem, and then they are pumping the price when that is not what it was built for. It is completely mathematical, it's technical as a concept. It is a speculative asset, yes, but I hope from the bottom of my heart that big economies don't come and manipulate prices like this. And we just saw it right here, I think, during this 90K push, that prices need enough momentum to go up. Big names like MicroStrategy or Michael Saylor can't come in, or even Trump for that matter, can't come in, pump money, and just expect it to go boom. This is, I'd say, pretty controversial on my end. I'd say clearly, I can see a lot of sell volume coming in rather than buy volume. Initially, I could see strong buy volume come in just to push the price from here to here. But right now, I see that it can go down further. What I would... You mentioned a band that is 90 to 84K. Okay, 84. We're still looking at 84. Interesting. So I should shift this somewhere here. 80. It still looks like 85. I'll just be back. Whenever there's going to be most attention, there will be the most manipulation. That is also correct. That is also correct. Because but how? Okay, here, test this theory out for me, okay? Almost 1 billion roughly BTC was purchased at the 92 level, right? Okay, maybe they were doing it from before, but this was the news that came in. At least 91, almost 962 million worth of BTC in dollars was purchased at a 92,000 level, and we are at 87-ish level. That is massive for people who are creating a lot of attention about BTC. But this is, you know, in stocks, if there is a lot of attention, price moves. Spot buying is always above the final futures bottom. That's what I have observed. What does that mean? Let me check the spot price. $15.15. Oh, this is not. This is. Like big institutions are going to buy it at in a range like this, and then it don't matter to them if the price dips 10k below the range, they just add. Wow, very interesting, because they're doing it in spot, so it doesn't really affect them so much. Definitely spot buying is always above final. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, now I understand. You were the one who taught me how to draw trend lines, right? Like big institutions are gonna buy it in a range like this, yeah, for us retail. Yeah, big. See, retail is looking at futures, quick spin in money. Okay. Even 50k to 100k is way too much. Okay, I'm just sending you something. Unless it's above. $100k. Do you own any BDC? Yes, I used to. Yeah, trend line swap. You remember just the last I think on Friday, right, we had this conversation. We were talking about like bullish candles right here, and then the whole weekend, it was just so slow. Thank you, Jonah. Yeah, I'll tell you why I looked at it at 110K. I didn't know it would go further more. Um, it stalled around 90, then it went back, and then it showed signs of going up because for a sure I knew that we had to have like a tremendous increase from the earlier high that was around 70K few 4 years ago. So I was just waiting for it, and then after which I looked at some metrics. Generally, during October is when I see the highs showing up. So it was almost like a blind sell than trend lines are golden. Yes, trend lines. I've actually become so good at looking at trend lines, be it at a smaller time frame or from a higher time frame, to get that accuracy. However, I think when we were looking at that trend line for this zone, it didn't really work out except for the small um, thing when it came down to like 86 something. Let me zoom in. Yeah, the trend line is still here. So yeah, when I looked at it, it just, this was the trend line that I was looking at. I came almost here, not till the point that I wanted it to come. Still, it was great. Are you going to buy spot again? Not at the moment. Oops. Correct. I get that. So, am I gonna buy spot again? Not at. Oops. Not at the moment. No spot. Otherwise, I will have to DCA. So, when do I use trend lines? Yes, in consolidated markets here, I wouldn't use a trend line. Do I want to take a control Z? How long is my trade gonna be? If I'm looking at a 15-minute chart, so is it a 1 hour trade? Is it a 2 hour trade? Based on that, I draw my trend lines. So, for example, this played out essentially for at least more than less than 24 hours, but it's almost holding good. So these are the short trades. People hold on to trades that are more than 3-4 days, right? Um, so that, I think, trending markets, that's a trending market when you look at a span of more than 2-3 days. At least that's how I follow things. Are my trades longer? Not too long. I essentially try come during the live stream because this is for traders who are entering crypto, and they're not very aware of how to spot small trades, not something that they hold on to and say that, oh, I'm going to wait for it to turn around. Because many people in the crypto trading, I'd say, industry, they hold on to trades for at least 2 to 3 days for it to play out, because they spotted it someday and it takes time for markets to move. During the live stream, what I do is, can I spot a trade that I can take for a few hours and then close it? No attachment, no, I wait for 2 3 days for it to play out. That's essentially what I do during these live streams. Then taking those concepts in, what people Sorry about that. My OBS is acting funny. Anyway, we are back. So, let's see. Good work. Thank you. Are there any looking for any trade? Yes, yes, I am. I think I should shift my focus to okay, so this is spot. We have, oh, the entire, oh my god, this is something that I've barely seen. Almost 70% of the market is in the red. Look at that. If I take an average page, I can see only 2 greens. One more. One green. Oh my god. All right. Wow. Sentiments of the markets are not that great. Oh, XRP has gone almost to 1.89. I was looking to buy around 1.98. I think with all this ETF news, everything is just not that great. Whenever anything becomes an ETF, price stabilizes, markets move sideways, except for BDC. I think my most profitable trade was on HUSDT. That was when it first came out. If I had to remember, okay, this was also one of my very first few trades. I had put in $50 or $20, I'm not very sure, and I made like $500 just off one trade within a few minutes. I will just share the screenshot of the date and time when that was. I think it was HUSDT. It was, but I think that was my best trade, which I just put in very little capital and just went into it. Where is it? I think 2024 in the month of September. Oh, they're asking me to go and export some data from the weather. Never turn that much money in few minutes. I'll be honest, it's not in 2 minutes, but it is under 30 minutes though, and I closed the trade immediately. It was almost, let me check if it is here. Yeah. I think it was at 2. Yeah, it was almost, I'll just show the price that I had captured. It was barely anything. It was barely anything. There were bigger prices. So it was first when it came out. Okay, it's in June, not September. It came down, so I just took this and then I took this. The 45% fall, I would have put 100x. That's why I made like almost 500% on one candle. This was the only thing. After which I was like, I'm gonna go out. I'm not gonna stay in this trade. It looks good because I made enough profit from just one trade, and then I made a good call because otherwise it just went higher and higher. Each day it was like 132%, then 51%, 26%. So if I spot a good trade, I'm like, okay, let's take it. I'm not gonna marry that trade, take the profits out, and that's about it. June, not September, but yeah, I mean, this was one of those days. But trust me, I think I've lost more money than I have even made many a times, especially early on, that I wouldn't know well enough what trades were right. But right now, it's good. How about you? I know. 130 Pro. I think there was one token. I think it was called Pokes the other day, but now it is like shit, almost shit. This had seen like massive. See, this was 123% in a day, and this was just few days ago, 13th December. We saw the 123%. After that, just went out. Like, literally, look at that. It's like people made money, swept, and then it kept going down. It's barely like any volume, also. I don't trade all coins, just BTC, gold by XRP, spot. That's all I do. Bro, you are so similar to me. Even when I started out crypto, that is back in 2019 or so, when I just started looking at crypto prices, XRP was my goat. I would just, and that time I didn't even know how to trade. I would just invest it, and after 6 months I would come back to my portfolio and I was like, wow, this is a place to be in, not your regular stocks or mutual funds. That's fantastic. I really have to understand how to trade gold. I think it would be lovely if I get to learn how to trade gold better. I try and do analysis of gold. However, like the opening of the account or placing a trade, uh, what is the mechanism, I have to do a little bit of research on that. So do you use leverage? like futures. Yeah, I make pepper money and hope to see this go. Whoa, whoa, that is great. That is great. Let me take a look at XRP right now. Yeah, 20. Not even 2021. Interesting. Yeah, I think this is also when I saw a spike in my portfolio, and I'm like, this is great. But this is freaking amazing. Lot of. Okay, okay. So, what was the buy price at? Gold is crazy at asset, good risk to reward. That's why I like it. Holding it easy. Holding is easy. Wow. It's really nice. But even, when people want to enter into trading, I think when they want to understand what volatility is, they look at gold. I find gold volatile. For a person who looks at BTC charts almost every day, I found gold volatile. And I was like, it has a mind of its own. However, bruh, trend lines, they work so perfectly for gold, platinum, silver. Amazing. That's brilliant. Reset. Okay, we had. Where are we right now? Okay, this is the highest volume at this price. 0.5861. No, no, no. Even here. Yeah, I get what it is. Interesting. Based on, if I had to draw trend lines on a 1 day chart on XRP, it seems like it's just going downwards. There is no. It's enough touch points. Okay, after I do the some XRP understanding and analysis of where it is, excluding the news, I am going to take a look at gold as well, because yesterday I did a little bit of research, and then it just went past 4,400, creating like another historical high in less than a year. I think it's done almost twice or thrice. So I was like, okay, let's take a look at it. Maybe worth, you know, not just saying it is, a boomer asset. Okay, so now what I did is this first, I will put it in a different color for all those who are watching as well. I'm drawing a trend line. This was on a daily. Let's write this down because, hey, we can, keep, yeah, gold has lost its mind. Okay, so we are here and we have this 4 hour, then I will come down to 1 hour, scrunch this up a little bit, take it. Oh, okay, the 4 hour and the 1 hour somehow are still almost the same, so this is a true trend line. Yeah, we want to be above that blue line ASAP. Correct, correct. At least that's when you make an entry, you know. Okay, now what I will do is I will just try and look at a very basic. Oh, you told me to do it on a line chart. See, you're not even correcting me anymore. I almost forgot. Shall I redo this on a line chart? Let's see if it still holds. See, it doesn't hold true, bro. Whoa, whoa. I like. Let's adjust it to the line chart. Let's give it a 3-point touch line. Okay. Interesting. I thought you don't know. No. That smoothens the price so much. Now I can actually see that it makes more sense. Oh yes, why not? For sure, for sure. I think I get way too excited on the live stream. Okay. Let's look at even basic support and resistance. Yeah, these are the real highs and lows. It's not. Okay. Essentially, see, if I had to look at the trend line also, this should have been an ascending triangle, but it did not. Broke right through the pattern. Right here. See, I'll highlight it on the screen. What was the reason though? See this one? Wasn't it like an ascending triangle? No, it's a descending. No. Ah, it's not. It's a descending triangle. It's a freaking descending triangle, bro. Oh, this is so fabulous. So, if we put the fib retracement on the line chart and look at those levels on the candles charts, it's on point. Yes, I am a big fan of fib levels. I am a big fan of fib levels. That is 100%. This is so true. So let's take a look at it from here to here, right? Or should I take it all the way from here? Shouldn't a fib look something like this? Somehow something's not working. Close, not enough. Let me see. This is how they draw fib, right? No, we draw it from here. I'm not doing something right. Something is wrong with my fib level. Probably I'm looking at it from a 1-day chart. Yes, but I'll use a lot of fibs when I understand if it's just for small trades. When I have to take a look at the larger picture, then one second. What does this say? See, can I share some understanding? Put it on the right low. Fib is right. Yeah, put it on the right. Okay. Essentially here, and then I put it all the way up here. Yeah. Roughly. From here to here. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. See, I have one question. I'll just place this fib on the side. Isn't this also a descending triangle very similar to this, or is this a trend line? This is a trend line. Yeah, it has to break from here, but then it's. How do you read between if price moves between two trend lines? For example, I will type it down. Yes, I agree. But even at. Oh, but price is intersecting here. All of it is intersecting here. We just move this slightly. But right now, I think there is a deeper pullback to come. If it's come this far, if I had to look at the fib, right? But no, let me look at the fib not a line chart. Where the hell is this? Okay, but okay, never mind. It's almost. Okay, so let's roughly take this. So this was the 0.618 fib level of that.